Hey y'all, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Morgan, and here we do a little bit of all things creepy. Whether that be telling scary stories that you guys have sent in to me, telling some of my own scary stories, talking about scary books, scary movies, scary TikToks. We do it all here and we do it 3 days a week. So if that sounds cool to you, I would love to have you here. This is our first day back from our 13 days of nothing but Appalachian folklore that we did for Halloween, and I miss spending every day with you guys. That was so fun. I'm trying to adjust to this new schedule. I'm sure you guys are too. But I thought we'd start it off right by me telling you guys what it was like meeting the actual Annabelle doll, because I did that last month. On, I believe it was October 17th, I traveled around 4 hours away to Lexington, Kentucky, where Scarefest was happening, and I attended the Devils on the Run tour. Now, that did not just include Annabelle, that included a whole array of items from Ed and Lorraine's museum. And it seems like this is going to be, at least from what I took from talking with a few people on Nestfar, this will probably be the last time they do this tour, because they're about to open up a public museum. Right now you can see the items if you go stay in Ed and Lorraine's house, like you pay for the Airbnb situation, but other than that they'll be available to the public, so you just pay a museum fee and get to go in and see them, which I think is what they should have been doing this whole time. Now, I have a lot of thoughts, some controversial. There were some things I loved about this, some things I absolutely hated, and I want to spill all of the beans with you guys, so let's get into it. I think the best way to start this, and I will insert footage so you guys can see it as well, but I want to walk you guys through the museum too. So I actually got the chance to get there hours before Scarefest opened and hours before anyone was allowed in the museum. And I spent about an hour in there, which is way more time than most people got. And there was a lot of items in there. When you first walk in, you see a memorial table for Dan Riviera, who worked with the team and actually passed away from a heart attack, I believe, in Gettysburg whenever Annabelle was in Gettysburg. So you see his memorial table first, there's a little briefing about the Estes method, and then you get into the items. A keychain from the actual Amityville house, a toy dinosaur that is in association with the case that inspired the film The Devil Made Me Do It with like Arnie Johnson. There was a shoe with apparently a skeletal foot in it from World War II that is said to cause like poltergeist activity, which, like, no kidding, it's a foot. There was also what they called a satanic idol. Apparently it was found by a hunter in the middle of the woods in Connecticut. I thought it looked cool. The Conjuring mirror that inspired the final Conjuring film and was actually Ed and Lorraine's last case that they took was also there. There was this one item called the Pearls of Death. Apparently someone put them around their neck and felt like they were being choked out until they took them off, and I thought that was really interesting. And then we have this shadow doll. I'm gonna be so honest with you, I will get into my thoughts about Annabelle. This doll radiated some energy. Like, I felt like she needed to be in the box Annabelle was in. It was chaos. Side note, sorry if there's an angle change or I look any different. I had to stop recording because we had our new kitchen table delivered right in the middle of that. Let's get back into the story. Now, apparently this shadow doll, whenever they're doing the public Estes method that you can buy a ticket for whenever they do these events, the shadow doll likes to compete with Annabelle to be the most active, which is what Ryan Buell told me. Very nice guy, by the way. Talked to me for a really long time, told me personal stories, talked to me about Ed and Lorraine. Like, it was really interesting. Now, something that I did not agree with that was in that room was sort of the demonization of other cultures. There was fertility dolls and different types of things. It didn't really seem like it was haunted. It was more giving, like, this is from a culture that I am not and I don't understand, so I'm gonna make it scary. And I didn't feel anything off of those objects, and I didn't love that. Because it doesn't, something isn't evil just because you don't understand it. You know what I mean? So I do wish they hadn't done that. Now, finally, let's get to the Annabelle doll. Now, Annabelle was there, and also the movie prop from the Conjuring franchise was there, so that was also really cool to see. So I will say I immediately went inside, went up to Annabelle, stopped and spoke to her. I thanked her for her time. I told her I was sorry she was trapped in a box, and just had a full one-sided conversation with her. I didn't feel anything evil or malicious or dangerous. Now, with that being said, there was a powerful energy there, and I do not doubt that she could mess someone up if provoked. There was a lot of energy, but more than anything, I just felt sadness. To me, she genuinely just felt sad. But I don't doubt for a second that she is not haunted, does not have some sort of energy behind her, because I saw her move. And my husband was filming at the same time. I saw her vibrating. I feel like you can kind of see it in this clip, but I don't know. I think it's my eyes playing tricks on me. I've had people confirm that they can see it, but like, I swear she was vibrating. Let me see. Thanks, sis.
And I thought the little Indian baby wrapped like a turban.
Yeah. So like,
What?
do you see? Is there like a line up to go right now?
Do you see it? Now, like I said, we stayed inside of the museum portion for about an hour. No matter how many times I walked away from Annabelle, I would always come back. It's like I could not leave, and it made me really sad to leave. And I chalked this up to, okay, you've been researching this doll for 15 years of your life, you grew up in these movies, you're excited. But I've talked to so many people that had that exact same experience where they just did not want to leave her. And I think that's worth noting. I think that's weird. Now, I am not by any means saying that someone can't have a bad experience with her. Like I said, I think she's very powerful. I think it all goes down to the way you treat her. I really do. Because the few people that were allowed access in there while we were there, some of them were quite disrespectful. No one stopped to speak to her. People were being very dramatic, screaming like, oh, get me out of here. And I don't think that's cool. That I really don't like that. I understand you're a little scared, it's haunted objects, but at the same time, you know what you're doing when you walk through those doors. Like, you know what's behind there. No one's tricking you. You had to pay for special access. Like, it's not just people from the convention getting in there. You have to know what you're doing. So I think she is brought into these conventions and she's surrounded by people gawking at her, being like overly scared, and no one stopping to speak to her, and it's causing bad experiences. That's what I think. So I think if you show up and you treat her with nothing but respect, you will have a pleasant experience. But if you don't, you may not. And hey, I mean, that's on you at that point. At the end of the day, this is not just some story from a movie. This is a very real haunted object. Now, whether or not she started off haunted or became that way through all the energy manifestations, that's up for debate. But there's no denying the fact now that that is a very haunted doll. And I think with that, there needs to be a level of respect. There needs to be a level of care given. And I don't know. I cannot stand it when people disrespect haunted objects. It icks me out. But I had a wonderful time with her, and I do plan on going to the public-facing museum whenever it does open. I will not be staying in the Warrens' house. I don't love the stipulations. I went on there to actually book it because, obviously, not only was it sold out before I could, but I looked on the, things, so you can only film up to, 4 hours to post, and the reason it's only 4 hours is because their team goes through your footage and what you say with a fine-tooth comb, and if they don't like how you portrayed something, you're not allowed to post it, or you get in a lot of trouble, and you have to pay an additional fee to get that footage looked through, and that icked me out. I don't want to go to a location and feel like I can't speak my mind. Like, why are we doing that? And I understand we want to protect names and legacies or whatever, but, controlling the narrative like that is something I'm not interested in. So I won't be doing that. But the museum portion, as long as it's not like that, I do plan on attending. But anyways, that is all for today, and that is my experience with the Annabelle doll. I hope you guys loved it. I absolutely loved meeting her, and it is not lost on me that I got that private time with her because of you guys. So thank you guys so much for allowing me to do that.